Hello, hello. What's up? What's up? It is a new day, it is a new week, and it's time to get social. My name is KaVonna, and welcome to the Introverts Social Hour. Hello, everyone. My name is KaVonna, and welcome to my podcast called the Introvert Social Hour. I'm super excited to have you here. As you know, this is the first episode. This is my introduction episode, and it's going to be a fun time. You're going to get to know me a little bit more, get my vibes, and I'm going to try to get your vibes with through the Q&A and things like that. I'm just super excited to start and just explore. But first of all, let's talk about it. The podcast is called the Introvert Social Hour. I am the introvert, if you didn't guess that already. Um, and it is my social hour as well. I don't do a lot of chit chatting it up throughout the week. I am also a middle school dance teacher, so being an introvert just means my energy gets taken out through the children. So the social hour definitely is very specific, but I am super excited to do this in times of, yes, me talking to myself, in this case scenario right now, but in times of which I'm also talking to my friends, people that I've met and known throughout times of my life that expand so widely at this point, and just bring on different perspectives. So, with that being said, I am the introvert who's having a social hour. But something to know about me is I am an introvert, and I like to say I'm an introvert with extrovert tendencies because I can be seemingly extroverted when I'm giving you my full energy, and sometimes I do, and sometimes I don't, and I kind of just decide who deserves that and who doesn't. And if you can agree with that, hey, how are you? But that's what's super important is deciding who deserves my time and who deserves my energy. And most of the times I decide people do, and sometimes I say nah, you know? And sometimes the conversations aren't worth it, and sometimes they are. And it just depends person to person. And if you're an introvert, you understand. I'm super excited about this podcast in the sense that, as normal people, we have many thoughts about various things going on in the world. Sometimes we share them, whether it's through Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, if you do a Tumblr, or, or Reddit, or whatever those things are out there, or a TikTok, of course. How did I forget about TikTok? Um, but sometimes people don't really share what's going on in their minds and share what's going on in their thoughts and their daily life. Um, and I think in those ways, that's how we best connect with each other and just connect with people as a whole, sharing our thoughts, whether they're really deep personal conversations, which some of them will be on this podcast, or whether it's conversations that are just kind of like goofy and fun and vibey, and that's the goal. With that also being said, uh, some things that I'm interested in, the things that I want you to be aware of that we're going to be talking about, and I hope that you're interested in because you're listening to this podcast, so I hope it brings you some joy. I am a huge lover of stories, whether it's a book in my hand, whether it's a TV on my screen, a movie in the theater. I am your girl. I can talk about stories for days. Musicals, I'm a musical girl at heart. And just general storytelling. It's so beautiful and it's so impactful, and we're going to do some deep dives into different stories and different genres and different styles, and really talk about why they are impactful to us as human beings and why they are important to tell, to be honest, whether it is fictional or non-fictional. We're going to be talking about general life, whether it's the ups or the downs. Adulting is hard, it's not easy, and we're going to be talking about what that looks like for us, what it looked like to grow into adulthood from our teenage life or growing into adulthood part two if you went to college, and after college what that looks like, because you're not really an adult in college. That's my opinion. We love to think that as, fresh, adults out of high school, but the adulting really doesn't start until after college. And then also, I am a huge pop culture girly. which is so funny to say because I am introverted. I am incredibly quiet unless you find something for me to talk about that I really love and I really enjoy. And I really be up on the news, which is why I end up on Twitter so much, about so many things that are happening in pop culture. Do I share a whole bunch of my opinions on them? Not 100%. I'm not about to be on Twitter arguing with some stranger. It's not that deep. But I do get super intrigued by what the heck's going on? Why is it going on? Now, I'm not about to be all up in the biggest of the details and the latest of the dramas and the scandals, but just general pop culture and things that are happening, whether it's like the talk of the town as in regards to movie releases and drama, or if there's any movie drama lately, not that I know of. If you know some, let me know. Um, or in the sense of just like, oh, this happened. What do you think about that? Or this is the latest topic. Because we're humans and we have opinions, and I can't wait to talk about those opinions with y'all as my audience, and also my friendos who are going to be coming on throughout the season. I also wanted to let you know about my podcast inspirations and kind of what made me start. First off, I just want to say I was not a huge podcast girly until after, 2020, and I started getting into podcasts a bit more and listening to them and just needing, whether it was something to like make my day and make me laugh and just breathe for a second, or if it was something that was going to help me and make me feel a bit inspired. And I do want to give a shout out to Kev on Stage, That Chick Angel, Joshy Gons, the OGs. I'm gonna give them a little free promo out there, because here's the thing: it's just what I look forward to every single week. So thank you for that, and thank you for inspiring me. And then also, baby, this is Keke Palmer. Okay, I love you some Keke Palmer. If you know me, I love Keke, and she dropped that podcast and it was done. Like, I signed me up, and it's amazing. And I didn't doubt her for 1 second. So that's also something I look forward to every week now, which thank you, Kiki. And then last but not least, I'm going to keep it clean. The Every podcast with Leslie and Lenny. The comedy podcast that I needed but didn't know I needed. Comedy podcast that literally brought life to my morning when I'm getting up at 5:30 in the morning to go to work. And I just cannot wait for them to come back. So if y'all know anything about them coming back, please let me know. That's all. But those are the three podcasts that keep me going, that inspired me to make my own and hopefully bring that same joy to someone else, bring those same thoughts and ideas to someone else, and just kind of like sit and be a conversational moment, whether you're getting ready in the morning or you're sitting and eating your lunch in the afternoon or getting ready and doing your night routine. I just want to hopefully be a part of your day that is impactful and sparks conversation. Being an introvert, let's talk about that. For me, it doesn't mean I'm completely by myself. I'm not talking to myself 24/7, but I do have a lot of thoughts that just stick with me. And of course, I do talk to people, but I think it's super important to find a space in which all of my thoughts are completely like, just let's just talk. Let's see what happens. Now, with that being said, I know there are a lot of podcasts out here and people just talking the talk at this point. I'm not that girl. I do not plan to be that girl. As I said, I want it to be inspirational and impactful, and in a sense, even hopeful because of those deep conversations that will be had, and also those comedy conversations that will be had. Hopefully, it brings us a spark of creativity or just a moment of just click. I don't want to just be the podcast, just like, yeah, these are my opinions, not the goal. So, just letting you know now. I will be having weekly conversations with my friends about so many different things. And it is inspired in the sense of me actually having weekly conversations with my friends about so many different things. So I do want to give a shout out to my friends Sabrina and Nicole, because they inspired me, probably without even knowing, to really be like, you know what, let's just do it. I'm going to put this podcast together. I get so inspired by the conversations we have every week, and just the really goofy ones. As I said, that's one of my goals for the podcast, along with the like really in-depth personal conversations as well, that we connect with each other, but we know for a fact that other people feel it the ways that we do in certain regards as well. Once again, I don't want there to be any forms of confusion on what my goals are, and I just want you to just enjoy, purely just enjoy. Hopefully, you enjoy it as much as I enjoy doing it and putting it together and putting my creativity together and my topics together and my friends together as well. Just so you know a little bit about myself, let me give you a little quick background on who I am, what I'm about. So, one, I am a creative. Surprise. I am an aspiring professional dancer. I've been dancing for over 10 years now, which is wild to say. I am a late start in the dance world, but I'm not a giver upper, and I have goals to achieve and dreams to make, for sure, for sure. I am also a general lover of arts as a creative, so I also tend to find myself in various different mediums. I have an Etsy shop, oop, called Creative K Moods, where I sell my own design stickers and stationery. So I'm gonna plug myself real quick. It's called Creative K Moods on Etsy. If you like stickers and if you like uh, post-it notes and things of the sorts, it's there. I enjoy designing them myself, and I hope you enjoy looking at them and hopefully purchasing them. And then also too, being a creative, you need a job. Your girl needs a job. So as I mentioned earlier, I am a dance teacher for middle school, and you're probably like, "Oh, girl, you teach middle school?" Yeah, yeah, I do. I do. And if you think it's as draining as it sounds, it is. They go through so much, those little humans. They just be really evolving in a short period of time. Uh, but I do enjoy being a dance teacher. And we will have a teacher podcast episode about what being a teacher kind of like means, and maybe bringing some of my teacher friends on and talking about that. And I'm really excited for that conversation as well, because in my opinion, teachers don't get enough credit. Not just saying that as a teacher, but the things that I've seen other teachers go through outside of myself for the results that we get, they don't equate, and I think that's something worth talking about. Um, as far as just general storytelling, once again, I am a major book lover. Like, I I love love books. As an adult, I don't get to read them as much as I used to as a child, but I do my best. Right now, I'm on a roll. As of this recording, I'm at 20 books of the year of 2023, and I've never been more proud of myself. So it's looking like that bingo check is about to get crossed. I have a bingo sheet for 2023, and I may not get bingo, but it's about the expectations for myself. I set them high, you know what I'm saying? And we're going to be talking about some of my favorite books. We're going to be talking about some of my friends' favorite books, and specifically different genres as well. Definitely eventually talking about that book to movie adaptation trend we're seeing. So definitely stay tuned for that, because it's happening quite frequently these days. To sum it all up, I did want to say that all of these pieces, and it was just like, oh, she's just listing, herself. um, but all of these pieces and parts of me help make up this podcast, which is why it becomes so open. I really do hope that you find something that you can connect with, which is why I kind of give you like little snip pieces of who I am, and it doesn't solidify me as a person, but hopefully that's something you can connect to and be like, oh, okay, right, like I see myself listening to this podcast episode, or I see myself sticking with all of these things, because I can connect with everything, or connect with half of it. Um, Whatever you see in yourself here, and maybe if it's not anything, maybe like, girl, I'm an extrovert, I'm not a creative, it's not it, I don't see why. I definitely do see us still connecting on some level, in some different way, shape, and form. That's the beauty about uh, connection and relationships and things like that. You don't have to be exact, you don't have to be perfect. Matter of fact, you could be complete opposites, and you still find ways to, interestingly enough, be one and the same, right? Um, talking about the format, I did say that sometimes I'll be bringing on some of my friends. Sometimes it's just going to be me and you on the podcast. And then most likely, half of the time, it'll be me and my friends. Different friends. Sometimes I'll bring the same friends, and maybe you'll find your favorite friends, and they'll become your friends or feel like your friends. um, I also will be dropping polls and discussions for us to go over as a community about the podcast topics. I love the idea of Spotify being able to drop Q&As that you can ask in the podcast section, or also me dropping polls that you can answer in the podcast section. It brings us so much together, and I'm so excited about that, and seeing what y'all have to say. And just so you're not clear, I'm going to say this again. My goal is to bring you joy, the key word of the day, because I've said it so much, and connection into someone's week, like some podcasts have done for me. And I hope this is a podcast that you too look forward to every week. And I cannot wait to hear from you and hear your thoughts, and also get your ideas. I want you to stay tuned, be on the lookout for more episodes. They will be dropping every week. So please feel free to follow me on Instagram at KaVonna to stay up to date on everything, if you don't already. I am a teacher, once again, so if you would like to follow me, just message me and I will respond, because it is on private, because once again, I teach middle school, so they be doing a little too much. um, but I cannot wait for you to see and hear more so what this podcast will become and the journey that we are on. It's a fresh start, but no one gets anywhere without starting. So I am incredibly excited about that. In the meantime, as you wait for the next episode, first time using the Q&A, you can go to the Q&A section and ask me questions that you would like to know about the podcast or myself. I will be answering them in following episodes. I'll also be answering some of them on my social media, so go ahead and once again follow at KaVonna on Instagram. With all of the lovely things in the world, it is now time to close out the Introvert Social Hour. I hope that you got a little bit of fresh insight about who I am, and thank you so much for stopping by, and I cannot wait to see you around next week when we go into our full discussions. Get some sunshine, get some air, have a great week, and I will see you next week for the Introverts Social Hour. Thank you.